management by its leaders and to promote food safety. Deputy Minister of Basic Education, Emily Goga, has appealed to the Orthodox Christian College of West Africa to upgrade early childhood education course to degree level. She made this call at the college maiden graduation ceremony since the introduction of the course in 2012. Sierra Leone has launched its 2024 program report titled Strengthening Accountability, Deepening Impact. The 115-page report underlines the organization's interventions, achievements, and impacts of the Kenema-based non-government organization in 2024. Well, that's how we wrap up this morning edition of News Hour from the SLBC. I am Esther Suzanette Bassi. Thanks for watching.
A place cannot produce poems. It can only not prevent them. And Freetown is good at that, for Freetown has its own sudden elegances. People are slow to leave it, quick to return. And there are others who come for a year or two and stay for a lifetime, sensing that they found a city that is in the world.
More than my mouth can testify, more than my mind can comprehend. See, I've seen the wonders of your grace. I'm so sure this is not the end. See how far you brought me. I'm so glad you found me worthy. I can see, I can tell, and I know it's your grace. All my days I will sing your praise. See how far you brought me. I'm so glad you found me worthy. I can see, I can tell, and I know it's your grace. All my days I will see your praise. My heart is full of gratitude to you, and no one else but you. Lord, I'm here, I'm only by your grace. Thank you, Jesus, for not giving up on me. See how far you brought me. I'm so glad you found me worthy, Lord. I can see, I can tell, and I know it's your grace. For my made me who I am. Grace redeemed me. Grace sustains me. Grace made me who I am. Grace saved me. Yes, it redeemed me. Yes, it made me. Grace redeemed me. Yes, it sustains me. Shut up, Mama, come here, Mama. Hey! Hey! Grace found me. Yes, it saved me. Yes, it made me who I am. Everything I am today is nothing but by the grace of Jesus. Grace sustains me. Yes, it made me. Now with your hands wide open, with your hands, say, I can see, I can tell, and I know it's your grace. Shut up, Ayata. Hey, hey, I can see God. I can tell. Yes, I know. It's your grace. It's your grace. It's your grace. Hey, I can see. Say, I can tell. Yes, I know. It's your grace. I will see. One more time. I can see. Say, I can tell. Yes, I know. Grace found me. Grace.
Today is Thursday, the 28th of May 2025. It's a pleasant and warm morning here at Broadcasting House. This is Good Morning Sierra Leone. And this program always starts today with analysis and different views on issues of national concern. We are your presenters. Francis Bernard is my name, and I'm teaming up with
Dennis Peter is my name, but quickly Francis, today is 29th day of course, May. Thursday, 29th May 2025. I know we are morning, so of course that's something we cannot be particular about. But our quote of the day this morning is coming from, of course, one of our own, and that's the Right Honorable Dr. Mohamed Tunis, the former Speaker of ECOWAS Parliament. And it says, we have made many efforts in securing a peaceful and stable ECOWAS, and it's about time we take firm and decisive actions against forces that tend to reverse the trend. This is how welcome to the program coming up this morning.
In the program this morning, Statistics Sierra Leone, the senior population and housing census to Mayamba district. Sierra Leone celebrates 50th anniversary of ECOWAS amidst political instability in the region, and Kono Student Union calls on Kono stakeholders to address issues between workers, First Lady and Kwedu Holdings Mining Company Limited. Your stories and more, including your messages, which you can send to the number on your screen, or you find us on our Facebook page, Slbc TV Live, and also on all other social media streaming platforms. This is Good Morning, Sierra Leone.
Welcome back. The program is Good Morning Sierra Leone, vision live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation television on channel 31, and of course across our social media streaming platforms. We are about to usher in our guest, but just before we do that, as you must have known, we are mourning the passing of one of our astute colleagues here at the SLBC, the person of David Williams, one of our hardworking and most professional, of course, camera operators here at the National Broadcaster, the SLBC. And we, as of course staff members of staff, and of course the board of trustees and management, we continue to miss him. And there's so much to what is there not to say about David? There's so much to talk about.
David was a very hardworking man, as you said. He was dedicated, a dedicated staff.
Always dedicated to the cause.
Always at the office, trying to do what is right for the SLBC. And David, we missed by not only staff members of the SLBC or colleagues in the media fraternity.
I heard you, for instance, making mention yesterday in the program that no sooner the passing of David and your family members, you are calling to us. Is it not the same person the other day in our family function that was taking the photos, that was recording the event as it was happening? And of course, I had similar encounters that, my wife was a friend with him, and of course each time she comes to the office, or even if they meet along the wayside, he will be the first person to say, Fraser no, they can't early today, Fraser will not be home early today because we have a lot of work to do in the office. And because I keep telling him that those times that you stay too long in the office, what is there for you to be doing that you close work late at night? And he would be telling her, don't worry, today if it's going to be worse because he will not be coming home early. He's such a fun person to always be with. There's never a negative day. Each time my wife called the day, the tragic incident, and she was sobbing on the phone. She was crying bitterly. I was even finding it difficult to console.
David will be missed, really barrister, colleague here at the SLBC, and definitely will continue to bring update to the public, even as arrangement for his funeral are being put in place so that he will be given a befitting funeral. Tomorrow, definitely at the SLBC, we will be doing the opening of Book of Condolence, and the public is invited. If you feel David was
certainly, and the time is at 10:30.
10 a.m.
10 a.m. I beg your pardon. Friday tomorrow. It's going to be here at Broadcasting House in Englandville, and of course it's open not only to members of the SLBC, but of course well-wishers of the public who might want to come and sympathize with us. The Book of Condolence is going to be open here at the SLBC.
This is Good Morning Sierra Leone. We however continue with the program because life must go on. We continue, and in today's program, as you heard in our headlines, Statistics Sierra Leone, in collaboration with the Ministry of Information and Civic Education, has taken the message of the senior population and housing census to the people of Moyamba district through a town hall meeting. But to tell us more why this venture, in the studios this morning is the director of Communication Statistics Sierra Leone, and he is
Samuel
Asmana.
You can call
I wonder why. I wonder why.
Or Figo Man for short.
I wonder why.
She wanted to call the name.
Certainly.
Good morning.
And of course, I'm happy that Figo put some smiles on her face this morning, because of course it was all somebody's morning.
Yes. Good morning, Samuel. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, my sister and my brother and pupil.
All right. So why?
You will not want to know why
I'm very interested.
All right.
So you were in Moyamba together with the Ministry of Information and Civic Education, to take your message to the people of Moyamba district. What are you telling the people? What did you say to them?
Okay, so we said to the people, okay, before that, let me also extend my condolences to the SLBC for the loss of your colleague. I'll say our colleague, because I still consider myself to be part of the journalistic constituency. I worked as a journalist. A lot of people know that full-time for almost 8 years, and then I was working part-time whilst I was working in telco. So I'm a journalist. I always feel like a journalist, so I want to extend my condolences to all the colleagues. So when we went to Moyamba, it was part of the Civic Day Series that the Ministry of Information and Civic Education is organizing. So our Deputy Statistician General, Lansana Olukane, made it very clear that the census all over the country, particularly for the people of Moyamba, would be very inclusive. Now, when it even came to the recruitment of people, when we did the advertisement to recruit people for the census, we made it very categorical that you can only apply in your district of origin. So it means we're not going to take people from another district to take them to Moyamba. It will be residents of Moyamba, it will be locals of Moyamba that would actually work on the census in Moyamba. So that is the message we are telling everybody. Inclusivity, transparency, the need for everybody to come on board and support the census process for its developmental trajectory, because we all know we're doing the census, and it's the decennial census. The last one was in 2015. The next one was supposed to be 2025, but we've shifted it to 2026. So it's a decennial census calendar, and we hope and pray that everybody would come on board and support the process so that our people can get themselves counted and we can get accurate figures that can be internationally benchmarked across the world.
Okay, this is coming at a time when the main opposition is raising concern about you not having the capacity to be able to hold the census, and that in fact you don't have money, you don't have that you are behind time, and they will not accept anything other than holding the census, and not even a postponement. They will not accept.
Okay, so the reasons for the postponement are not connected to finances. They are not connected to incapacity.
So do you have enough finances?
Yes.
So why not hold it the time you propose to hold it?
Okay, so I'll come to the reasons why.
Okay.
So, as I said, it is not connected to finances. It is not connected to incapacity. We are very much capacitated. Government, as we speak, has committed $2.5 million. This is money seated in our accounts. As we speak, government is giving us $2.5 million of the $6.5 million they committed for 2025. All right, that is already there, and already there. And what we do is, it's a situation where it's activity-based request. All right, they created a special account at the Bank of Sierra Leone where they put a basket fund where they put monies, and from that basket fund, monies are taken and remitted to our accounts. We want to thank them for that. So let me come to the reasons why we have to postpone the census. One, when we in January this year, January 13 to the 17 precisely, we had an international mission from the UN. All right, the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, UNFPA, and the US Census Bureau. They came. Now, They wanted to do an assessment of our preparedness for the census and also gauge where we are and make recommendations. That was the mission that they came for. Now, at the end of the assessment mission, they told us that they feel we have the capacity, but they feel we could do with much more time and also their technical support. All right, we were very clear on that. We made it very clear in our press release that we put out that it was not a matter of incompetence on our part. Now, the partners said, one, we have not, they've not planned themselves to be involved in this census for 2025. Now, they can only be involved in 2026 if we want their technical material.
Their recommendation.
Yes, that was the recommendation they made. All right, they want to be involved in the process. All right, so if we want them to be involved, then we have to shift the timeline to also accommodate them. That is one. Secondly, they felt like they could offer much more technical support to us to ensure we get a census that could be internationally benchmarked. All right, so those were reasons they gave us, recommendations they gave us. Let me just land. At that meeting where they put out these recommendations, they made these recommendations known to us. The meeting was attended by the Secretary to President, and he took that particular recommendation with a pinch of salt. All right, he was clearly not too happy about it, but then he said he would take it back to the President. So he went to the President, and after which we worked with the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development, and then they came back to us and said the President had approved for the dates to be shifted. Now, but importantly, let me make this also very clear. Bernadette, it is not new in Sierra Leone for censuses to be postponed. It's not a new phenomenon. Let me go back 1963 when we had our first census post-independence. The next census was supposed to be 1973. It didn't happen until 74. Reason? Logistical challenges that we have right now, timeliness, and the fact that more work needed to be done. The next census from 1974 was supposed to be 1984. It didn't happen in 1984. The next census happened in 1985. All right. So the same reasons that occurred were the same reasons. Then let me come post war. Post war. Then we had a 19-year gap. We didn't have a census because of the war. Now, from 1985, we didn't have a census till 2004. Now, 2004, the actual census was supposed to have been held based on all the preparations and everything they've been doing in 2003. It didn't happen in 2003. They had to push it to 2004. 2004 was supposed to be in 2014. It didn't happen in 2014. It happened in 2015. So it's not a new phenomenon. Now, censuses are very, very complex.
So we agree this is not new according to history. However, why are we always building on the negative?
No, we are not building on the negative. I'm pretty sure all of us as a country, as a people, would prefer we have a census that is better. We have enough time to do it. We get data that is truly reflective of the population and internationally comparable, down to rush up a process, and then we have flawed data or a situation where issues are coming up and down.
Okay, Samuel, before my colleague comes in, this is a very sensitive issue. It has to do with the planning and development of Sierra Leone, and everybody is important in such process. The APC is a very key figure, and this is a very sensitive information you are sharing out now. Were they informed before now? Were they called because they are supposed to be part of some committees? Am I right?
Yes.
Are they part of the steering committee?
They are part of the committee.
So why were they not called to that meeting when the recommendation was made? And then you inform them that this is the reason, or these are the reasons why we will not be going ahead according to plan, according to our schedule with the said census. Why?
Okay, so when the mission came, right, the opening, we invited the political parties and every other stakeholder. The close of the mission, when they were making the recommendations, we didn't invite any other stakeholder except for the international partners and then the government of Sierra Leone. All right. but it was in the full view of the media. The media were there. Now, when the recommendations had been made and it was taken to the presidency and then it was approved by the presidency, the first people we called to inform them were the committees, particularly the advisory committee. We called the advisory committee, we told them the reasons, why we are pushing the census and why and what the partners are recommended for the census to be postponed. All right, and then we had somebody representing the main opposition party at that meeting who told us in no uncertain terms that he knows that census dates are not new when it comes to postponement. They are always prone to postponement. All right, so we've always kept them in the loop. Now, as you said, and I want to be on record, for this, the APC and every other political party in Sierra Leone is a very important stakeholder in the census process. Now, in Sierra Leone, whether we like it or not, we have to say it. If you take 10 people in any setting, 10 people in any setting, I'm pretty sure you would have a situation where it will be 6-4, all right, or maybe even 5-5 when it comes to the political parties they support, whether directly or indirectly. That is a fact. Sierra Leone is very much polarized along political lines. We understand that. So that is the reason why we do not want a situation where we would have a back and forth with the APC. Now, yesterday we had a meeting, productive meeting with the National Secretary General and some other members of the party. All right,
of the APC,
of course, of the APC. All right, we've understood ourselves. They now understand exactly some of the areas we are coming from. All right, now next week we're going to have another advisory committee meeting. Just to point out, they are members of the advisory committee, not the technical committee. All right, as they had said, they are not members of technical committee. Technical committee are the international partners, research institutions, some other relevant MBAs. All the political parties, all of them, are in the advisory committee, which is the highest decision.
Now that you've made that sufficiently known, Samuel, I took time off. Listening to you attentively. Pinpointing the issues. In as much you're saying that, earlier on you made mention of $2.5 million. Being disbursed by government to speed up the process. Imagine you are talking about over $37 million dollars projects. You only have to your credit $2.5 million, and then you are here saying that you are not constrained by finance. We can understand. But just speaking to the issues now, making mention of the technical and the advisory committee. Speaking about the advisory committee, the role that in the person of the main opposition APC is playing is to advise. Technical committee will come in to say we are the ones giving logistical support, technical assistance, and so you should adhere to what we're saying. But let's backtrack to 2021 midterm census. There was the issue of technical advice coming from no less an institution than the World Bank. To suggest that Sierra Leone was not prepared to undertake such an Herculean task in that particular moment. But you went on, even as much as you didn't have the funding, the financial support to go about it, you went on in 2021, you conducted the midterm census. Are you also saying in this particular instance that it's now you want to be listening to technical advice?
Okay, that is not the case. All right. In 2021, the World Bank supported us throughout the cartography. The World Bank only pulled out of the census a week to the main census enumeration, the main counting.
Since lack of preparation?
Now, it was not lack of preparation.
What was it?
We had discrepancies, or we had arguments around the training. They felt like we should spend more time to train people that are going to the field. That was a major issue we had. All right. Now, we told them we are constrained for time and we had already slated the dates. We had communicated the dates for the census. All right. And then if we say we're going to now extend the time for the training, it will be an issue. So we had these misunderstandings. All right. I'll put it that way. We had these misunderstandings and we couldn't come to a compromise, and that is why they pulled out of the census. Now they didn't tell us to postpone the census. They never told us to postpone the census. Okay. All right. We had disagreement over the training period and some other methodologies that were involved. All right. That was the situation. Okay. Now, actually connecting the nexus with 2026 now that is happening. You know what I want us to do? Let us forget about what happened in 2021. This
the past.
I know. You use the past, and that is what I have actually done.
Okay.
Now, let us. A lot of things happened so many things went wrong in 2021.
Yes.
The fact that political parties told their people not to be counted, it was messy. It was so much issues, so many things that actually shouldn't have happened as a country that happened to us. Okay. Now we want to right those wrongs. We want to correct some of these mistakes that happened in 2021. All right, and that is why we want to have a census which everybody as a citizen will be.
Very well. Now that you've said that, right? Now, let me just hold it there, Mr. Ashimana. Now that you've said that, you're on national television, and a lot of Sierra Leoneans are really interested in wanting to know why was the census postponed. You know, because this is like my colleague said, this is a very critical planning mechanism for the development of our beloved nation, and of course we cannot afford to give inaccurate and data that are not really credible enough for it to be accepted for the development aspiration of the nation. And that's what even APC is saying. In fact, they are recommending that of course you give out a clear timeline as to how the census process will be orchestrated,
which we have done. We've put out the timeline for the census. We did that. We put out the timeline for the census, so people know that we're starting the pilot census in July. The cartography in July. We're doing the pilot census in December of this year, and then we're doing the main census enumeration in December of next year. Now, there are recommendations that were made to us. So coming back to the postponement of the census, there are recommendations that were made to us for the postponement of the census. Now, the UN bodies that came recommended that there must be a 1-year gap between the pilot census and the main census enumeration. All right, and that is exactly what they recommended. Okay, so that is why we are having the pilot census in December of 2025, and then the main census enumeration in December of 2026. Okay, to meet international standards. All right. Now we understand concerns that have been raised, and as I told you, we are addressing those concerns. We are sitting with the APC. We're sitting with any other dissenting voice. All right. We consider dissenting voice as positive voices that want processes and procedures to be in place and be right. All right. We are not taking them okay, these people just want to cast spanners in our works, or throw spanners in the works we're doing. No. We encourage every dissenting voice, and I will tell you, the leadership of Slbc Tv is ready to sit with every dissenting voice, all right, and actually come to some understanding so we could have a way forward, because we need
you sense a communication gap, because this is coming from APC. We might say this is political. I'm employed by the APC to want to, like you said, cast spanners into your work. But do you sense a communication gap? Because if you have been coming to the public with some of these facts, now, I mean, this for I believe for a lot of people this is like a revelation. This is news to them. If you have been coming forward to say some of these things, do you think we could have passed this long ago?
Okay, so before we come to the public to say all of these things, I feel the most important people we actually have to communicate to are the stakeholders, and we've been communicating with them. The APC are in the advisory committee. Every other political party is there in those committees. So what we expect, what we want to get done, is a situation where, whether it is now we are doing this or we have been doing it, we don't want to talk about that. What we want to talk about is the fact that we're moving the process forward, all right, with everybody on board. We don't want to have a back and forth, all right, with APC or any other political party. They write, we write back, they write, we write back. As I said, I gave you an analogy that in Sierra Leone, if you count 10 people at every given time, you would either have 5-5 APC SLPP or 6-4. It's a very thin line between the two political parties. So if you have a situation where people that are supporting APC, whether outrightly or not, right, feel like, oh, our party has taken a stance, there is likelihood that they will join that stance.
All right. Thank you very much, Samuel. Continue to stay with us. Well, this is Good Morning Sierra Leone. We'll definitely have to ask more questions, but for now, Dennis, we'll go to
certainly, of course, you are listening to the Director of Communications at Slbc Sierra Leone. I mean, making a point over the postponement of the 2025. The senior census to 2026 is slated for that particular day. We now move to another issue in the program. Up for discussion, of course, the Limba people in Salone, an organization that is fashioned in the Limba ethnic group, will be having their second edition of Taduba Awards night. I hope I got that right. To thoroughly move light this, of course, we've been joined by the president of the organization, Sanfa Umar, to talk more on this particular Taduba Awards night that is going to be held in Freetown. Good morning, Mr. Sanfa, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, I want to send my condolence to the entire team of Slbc for this great loss. This is not only a loss, this is a Sierra Leone loss.
All right, thank you very much. Of course, now going back to the Taduba's Awards night that you will be organizing, give us a background. What's the importance of this?
Yeah, thank you very much. The importance of the Taduba Awards. This is one award that is trying to elevate our people. Some of our people are down there. They are not recognized. So sometimes they will say, only your people can celebrate you. So we want to celebrate our people. This is an award that has been taking place for this is the second years, and we have been going throughout the country as an organization, supporting people, children, especially children, that needs education. We have been doing this for over 8 years now, and because of that, we have people that are very, very supportive to this process. We have people all over the country, like people normally say Limba people are like from APC, whereby we have people that long since. We are not, and Limba people is for Sierra Leone. We are all Sierra Leone, because when we went to the House of Parliament, we bring both the SLPP and the APC together, that are MPs and that are Limba people. Of course, you attest to this. The Deputy Speaker of Parliament is a Limba man. It's one of the brain behind this. And the Dean of IPAM, Professor Ezekiel Manilako, is another one. Professor Bob Conte, Professor Kelebaru Mansai, they are all supportive of this.
Alright, just before you make more points on that, and moving into particularly, so talking about the importance of this Awards night, you know, the Limba ethnic group is one formidable institution in Sierra Leone, and that has gone beyond being an ethnic group, now becoming an institution, a state apparatus within the confines of the Sierra Leone society. You know, before now, in the past, we used to know you to be organizing yourselves. You have institutions such as the Malimba and several other organs within the Limba ethnic group that have been bringing you together and promoting the ideals of the Limba culture. But for quite a long, that seems to be a thing of the past, you know. And like you said, you are known for your peaceful nature, to be peace brokers, to be mediators, mediating in society to ensure that national cohesion is entrenched in society. What has gone on?
Thank you. This is one of the things that has gone on, whereby politics has heated into the tribe very hard. We started off with the LDU, which is Limba Development Union, and it is being heated with politics, and it was a reform again with equity, and that one again is highly political. We also end with Malimba. I was sitting with Malimba and the executive sometime, and one time one of the greatest person in that executive told me that Malimba is in coma. So since then, we look at this, since 2018, we reform as young people. This, especially this Limba people, Nasaro, is being formed by young people between the age of 18 to 40.
So the Gen Zs?
Yes, so this is the Gen Zs. And of course, one of the things that we are fighting is for us staying out of politics. Like you have correctly said, Limba people are not from APC, neither from SLPP, because we say we are the origins of Sierra Leone. When, if you go back into history, history will not tell you that nowhere Limba people is coming from. They will tell you that we are coming from the Warawara Mountains, whereby that's one of the greatest history we have been going through. These are all the things that we look at and we are finding very difficult.
Thank you very much, Mr. Umar. Of course, he is the president for Limba People Salon. I'm finding it very interesting. As an organization, we call Limba People Salon. We'll talk more on how you are planning or working to change the narratives. But for now, let's go for a short break and put more detail into a short break.
As a mother of the house. Whenever I want to prepare palm soup, there's no need pounding palm fruit. All I need is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. My soup is done, and its preparation, it is not difficult at all. Nkulenu palm soup base, it's easily done with no difficulties. Just take few ladles and your soup is done. And its flavor, it's amazing. This is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. And this is Nkulenu's Ghana's original spiced palm soup base. Iron fruit and turkey berries are naturally added.
Also available brown gold natural cocoa powder, sunny gold brown sugar, meat fufu flour, shito, pisa and moringa. All available at Nyami Ado Enterprise, 1 Lower Waterloo Street, Freetown.
Nkulenu palm soup base.
Ghanaian original taste.
Program is Good Morning Sierra Leone, reaching you live from your public service broadcaster, the SLBC, live on TV. We are broadcasting from our New Gravity Studios here in Freetown. We still have, of course, the Director of Communications from the Statistics Sierra Leone. Talking to us there on, of course, some of the efforts they have been mounting, and of course, mechanisms to ensure that they conduct a credible census process in 2026 and not December of 2025. And of course, they have spoken to us reasons for the postponement. Coming back to you, Mr. Ansumana, ever since the postponement, you've been having a lot of engagements, consultations, even in the provinces, and you might take a lead from here telling us some of the importance of these stakeholders' engagements.
So it is important because it is the stakeholders that actually own the census. The census is for the people of Sierra Leone. Alright, and that is the reason why even today we're having another major stakeholders meeting where we're having a technical committee meeting. The technical committee is the committee that is responsible to put together all the instruments for the census, the manuals, the questionnaire, all of that. And it is comprised of people from the universities, research institutions, research organizations, relevant ministries, departments and agencies, and international partners. They are the ones that are in that committee. So that committee is meeting today at 10 a.m. at the Brookfields Hotel, and we've invited members of the technical committee to be there. Now, we'll also be having another meeting, the advisory committee meeting sometime next week, possibly Tuesday next week, where we intend, that is a conglomeration of the political parties, some other relevant MDAs that are also there.
So speaking about that, we have political parties involved in this because they keep on pointing at using fingers. That's when once you have these engagements, you hardly invite them, you hardly extend an invitation to them for them to be part of it. In fact, another issue they are pointing, insofar as this postponement is concerned, they're saying that when you postpone
the census, the only thing that is a requirement for any election to take place in any country is voter registration. That's all. We had situations in Sierra Leone where censuses were not, but elections went on. In 2002, we had a war for 11 years. The last census was in 1985. We had a 19-year break. Did the 2002 elections not go on? They went on. They went on when Pakaba won. They went on when Pakaba won the elections. So, whilst I understand that it can be used for political reasons, we should not politicize the census. That is what we're trying to do. We are not politicians. Our institution is not a political institution. It is a semi-autonomous body that is very much apolitical. We try to stay off politics. So a point that if we notice that you are associating yourself openly with a political party, you might end up leaving the institution.
And that's the very thing why I keep saying I'm talking about communication gap. Because even you keep going back to the 2021 midterm census, you are having regular press conferences, informing people. You cannot be everywhere at the same time. Informing the people about the process. But you can have the media. Disseminating this information to the wider public.
Okay. So you're just speaking my mind. Okay. All right. We had a discussion recently with my boss, the SG, and we agreed that sooner rather than later we're going to start having monthly press conferences, all right, or activity-based press conferences where for every activity we have, we call the media, we come and explain, and they disseminate to the people. That is something which we are working on.
So is it because of what the APC did? That's why that is forcing you people to start holding your own?
No. Listen. I'm pretty sure you guys know I'm a communications person.
But you are not statistics selling.
I know, I'm not statistics selling, but I advise the institution on everything communication. And I tell you one thing, they listen to me.
So why are you only advising them on this area now?
I'm not advising them on this area now. You know, offices and institutions, there are processes and procedures. Alright? You just don't get up one morning, and we also should understand that it is financially driven. It has financial implications. So this is a situation where we are planning, we have to plan so that we start having these updates, right, on a monthly basis so that people understand exactly what we are doing as an institution.
Samuel, what is the assurance that you guys will not come again with some other explanation that this is why we should not be going for the census, or we have to shift, even if it's a day? What's the assurance that you will not be coming up with excuses anymore?
Okay, so
census we hold, and according to you, you said you met with the APC, right?
Yeah.
And what was the outcome of that meeting?
No, I cannot speak to the outcome on air.
Did you guys speak to
But I can tell you it was a very productive meeting. We understood ourselves. They understand the position we are coming from. We now understand the position we are coming from, and we are committed to actually work on sensitizing people, them and us, and all the other.
You know why this is important? Because
they said
the situation that we are
compromised.
Yes.
We had hosted the APC here, and they've said that in fact we have the documents that they signed, that they will not compromise those recommendations for no other option.
So I want to see a situation whereby they will tell their people to stay off the census.
And they said they were going to promote if you fail to.
So let me make this. I don't want us to.
We are staying apolitical. We are shifting politics out of the discussion, but we also need to bring the point of another person.
Because we are very important in this process.
I understand. So I don't want us to surround the conversation around APC or politics. Alright? Now, what I can tell you authoritatively is the fact that we had a very productive meeting. One thing is clear, they are committed to participating on the census.
So it's very difficult for us to take politics out of this because the APC is a political party.
I understand.
And the data from statistics is very important for their existence. So that's why it's difficult to take politics out of this. We are not politicizing it. We are just talking as they came here. What they told us is what we are asking.
So let me just make it clear for everybody. We are going to work with the APC and every other political party to ensure its successful.
Alright, thank you very much.
They are critical partners. We cannot take that away from them. They are critical partners in the process. However, we believe that there is a situation where they misunderstood some of the things, alright, and we are able to now make it clear to them, and we now understand ourselves, alright. So to say it's no compromise, I can tell you we now have a compromise with them. Alright. We don't want a public show of strength as to who is more powerful. We write. It will not bear any good fruit.
So
it will just create more political divide and the wedge.
So we need to know what the people of Moyamba said when you informed them about the census and the next step that you will be taking.
They were very, very enthusiastic. They were happy about the steps we have taken. They were happy particularly about the fact that we are taking indigenes of Moyamba to actually work on the census, alright, rather than the situation where we take people from other districts to come. So we are happy that all of the media, all of the districts that we've been to so far, we've been to Cambia, we've been to Port Loko, we've been to Moyamba. They are very happy, they are very enthusiastic that at the end of the day, they know, all of them know that it is for the